All right, Chad, I think we made it through. It's a long, arduous process, but it is worth it. In terms of moving people around, this is what we have. Obviously, we still have to wait to see what's going to happen in terms of training camp results, but as far as athletes are concerned, we put Terrence Shaughnessy at running back. We're going to really focus on him. We ended up with 2 fullbacks out of it, which is what it is. Excuse me. Wide receiver-wise, again, training camp results still have to hit, so hopefully that works. A lot of tight ends, but a couple of seniors in there. The O-line's a mess in terms of just the amount of players that are there. We'll see how many dudes get cut. I mean, technically, I could have evened out the numbers for each position, but it really doesn't matter. And as per usual, we had Asher Varner starts off as a wide receiver. He is significantly better on the defensive line. So that's the type of guy that we always move over. I highly recommend going through that arduous process of position changes when you use TeamBuilder, because you will likely find that some people are better in other spots as opposed to where the game puts them by default. But yeah, we're probably going to have quite a few players to cut here, just because a 34-man recruitment class is pretty ridiculous. And then obviously we got a lot of guys who are pretty good at safety. So I had 450 hours with ULM from recruiting, signed new coaches in the offseason, not realizing they had no recruiting stuff at all, and mine dropped to 300 hours for the next year. Jesus Christ, that I would cry. I would cry. Just flat out, I would cry. That would be horrific. 13,000 XP? In what? Jesus Christ. I mean, that only got us to like level 4 or whatever. Just gave us 13,000 XP in one off season. Okay. And we're up to a 75 overall. Holy shit, dude. It gave us 100 coach points. Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, that's certainly nice. So in terms of the roster, I guess it was 9 levels. Yeah, we're up to level 13 now. Is XP gain set to normal? No, it's set to the lowest. Holy shit. Well, in terms of the off-season development, I mean, quite a few quarterbacks were making strides. I still think Frost is going to be the guy I focus on this year, since he has impact dev. Running backs, Keontae Tyson got better. I still think he's going to be our primary running back this year as a senior, but we're going to focus on Shaughnessy if he plays. Schmidt, not bad. Foreman, at least we got one really good wideout. Javon Moore is not that bad. Couple decent tight ends. Again, I wish I went back to showing you like what outright, like, oh, +5 for this guy, +5 for that guy. I wish it still did that. And Grant Huff, he'll probably end up being a starter. We got a lot of O-line improvement. The O-line's looking a hell of a lot better than it did just 3 minutes ago. And again, Elijah Greenwood's another one of those guys. It plays him at like middle linebacker. He's better on the O-line. Asher Varner goes from being like a 50-something, maybe 60-something wideout. He's now a 76 rated defensive end. Again, it takes some time, but the position moves are worth it. 100%. Bubba Van Claiborne up to an 80. Taj Cole's at a 76. Corners are looking okay. I mean, I would like to imagine we're going to win more than one game this year. You know? I'd like to imagine. That was some damn good off-season development. Won't his size be an issue? We have faith. Again, freshmen don't get the off-season boost, so you wouldn't have seen literally every single player that we have. 2 games, damn right. 215 on the edge. I believe in him. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. He's our Brian Pillman. He may be small, but he is mighty. Upgrade coach skills, you don't say. So recruitment this year is going to be nice because we can at least get every position to be scouting takes less time. And then recruiting actions gives a bonus. We could wait for that. Technically, we could go after tactician or motivator. Our coordinator is spec'd into tactician. Did we do names already? No, we have not. We do still have to do that. So, I mean, tactician's nice for in-game stuff. I'm not too worried about speccing into that with our head coach. And then this guy has the motivator tab, which is extra XP. Quarterback stays hot through timeout. Again, this is the guy that helps out, you know, the off-season training boost big time. Get yourself a guy that has 3 out of 4 for motivator. Oh my god. That's where all the XP comes from. Yeah, we're going to stay in that recruitment tab. It's going to depend on who we have to recruit this year. So we'll save the rest of those points. Let's go to encourage transfers first, and then we'll see, again, who got promoted and relegated this past year. We have to cut 20 players. Roster size 105 out of 85. Jesus Christ. Whew. All right. Well, first things first, we know that we can cut the senior quarterback, David DePaul, a.k.a. the guy that I tried to edit that crashed our fucking first save file of this and ruined it. So we're going to cut David DePaul. He's not going to play anyways. Xavier Jarvis would play anyway. So DePaul, get out. To be honest with Jarvis, you could say get out as well, because at least O'Neal's just as good, but Samuel's probably going to get redshirt this year, so we'll leave that the way it is. At running back, the senior, Julius Buford Jr. Nerd, you're fine. Are there any abilities that are significant? So every ability, though, has like a ranking from bronze up to what? It's at least gold, right? Doesn't it go above gold for some people? And that changes how effective they are at that particular ability. So it's not just about the abilities that they have. It's about the level of it. Yeah, Julius Buford, you got to go, buddy. Up to platinum. Yeah, that's what I thought. I knew gold wasn't high enough. I didn't remember what was above it. Gong Show, what's going on? Spencer Strickland is awesome, but I can't imagine playing him this year. Actually, maybe we play Strickland. I don't want to risk redshirting Shaughnessy. He might get mad. I was a friend of the coach abilities. Ah, gotcha. Gotcha. All good. You could redshirt Strickland this year, or Tyson play the other. Okay. The extra fullback, Cole Schmidt, you're gone. That's Stephen B's spot. Wide out, Tanner Millam. I mean, he's never going to play this year, so. Well, maybe he would if we redshirt Page, because it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or we just don't redshirt Page. Yeah, I think we got to get rid of Tanner Millam. Tight ends. I mean, Gunderson. He's just not going to play. So see you later, Alex Gunderson. Can't cut any more tight ends. On the O-line. This will be a tough one. So we have a lot of players in these positions. Defensive end. Cade Bloom, the junior. You're already too far behind your peers, so we'll move on from you. We'll also move on from Deshaun Weeks. I mean, I'd be redshirting him anyway. He'll always be behind Cicatano. Cicatano, however the fuck you want to pronounce that. So, Weeks is gone. Right end. Joshua Townsend. I could redshirt you, but you're still going to be behind Varner, so we'll get rid of Townsend. Cuts into our depth a little bit. Corner, the 67 overall junior in Malik Moon. We'll get rid of you as well. I still have so many people to get rid of. Another senior, Jaquez Blanks. We'll get rid of you. Honestly, we're probably getting rid of Stephen Harper as well. Say goodbye to the Prime Minister. Yeah, Jaquez Blanks is gone. Stephen Harper's gone. On the other side, We'll get rid of Nico Solomon because Draymond Gates is ready, as is McCarty. Getting rid of a whole lot of seniors. And then honestly, these juniors in the back end, Quincy Blues, Hunter Haynes, great names, but can't do anything at kicker, can't do anything at punter. We got 6 more guys to get rid of here on a second pass. I'm just thinking if we redshirt Tyson for a year, he could really benefit from that. You know? You could argue Tavian Grant could go because, well, actually Hardy could go. He's a year ahead of Grant, the same rating. Is there any other obvious cuts? I feel like it's got to be O-line. Yeah. The junior, Doug Barlow, you can go. We'll also get rid of Keon Robertson, another junior. Right guard. We'll get rid of Eric Paulding. I mean, we're having to get rid of some decent talents here, but it's because we actually have some other talents, which is shocking. Forsyth. What's that right side looking like? You know what? Yeah, we can get rid of Nick Forsyth. We got enough freshmen on the other side. Defensive tackle and then defensive end. Nobody to really... Well, we could get rid of Devin Skates. I mean, he's not going to get ahead of Decker or Couch Smith. One more guy. 55 overall, freshman corner, Randall Glenn. Definitely had to get rid of some people I didn't want to get rid of, but that's just the way it works. In terms of promotion and relegation, it's finally time to get to it. The team that earned their way up from independent status last year.
I'm just trying to walk through this fucking grass.
Clemson. Cade Klubnik. Cheat code. The team that moved up was Kent State. Kent State will be moving up to Tier 10, Conference USA, and they will be swapped out with Mid-Tennessee State. So congrats to Kent State, but again, that is now Tier 11. Monroe behind the webcam, Mid-Tennessee State, the new team, welcomed in. Shout out to Mid-10. For Conference USA, the team that got promoted, Coastal Carolina. They'll be moving up to the MAC, where they will take over for Southern Miss, the lone team that we managed to beat last year. Still don't know how we managed to win a game. And then the team from the MAC that was promoted. Shout out to old Ed Sheeran, but not today. Western Kentucky won the MAC last year. They have been promoted to the Sun Belt for the Charlotte 49ers, who lost on a brutal tiebreaker. Promoted up from the Sun Belt, the Ragin' Cajun of Louisiana. They're off to the American for Florida Atlantic. How are you deciding who moves conferences? Conference winners. Quick and easy. All right. Sub in the Florida Atlantic. Promoted from the American was Liberty Bibberty. They'll be heading to the Mountain West for Oregon State. Liberty Bibberty or Oregon State. Moving up from the Mountain West as champions, the Maryland Terps. They head to the Pac-12 for Kansas. So with the national championship for TOUGLANE be getting promoted. Having the best record in independent status gets you promoted out of independent. It's the best overall record. Promoted from the Pac-12, the Syracuse Orange are heading to the ACC for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And Syracuse swapped for Minnesota. Meanwhile, in the ACC, the champions last year were Kentucky. They're heading to the Big 12 for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So, Kentucky for Nebraska. From the Big 12, Texas Tech. Moving on to the Big 10 for the University of Central Florida. Be funny if an independent team won a national title. It's not impossible, but it is improbable. And then moving up to the top division, as champions, Ole Miss will take the SEC spot of the Texas Longhorns. So Texas down into Tier 2 after one season, replaced by Mississippi. So again, that is the top tier. The 12 best teams in the nation. Maybe not by current ranking, but by this other little system that we have going on. That is the deal there. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right, we're able to advance one more time. That'll bring us to, custom scheduling and all the fun stuff. Stovall doesn't like our playing style. We did drop to a 74 because of all the players we cut, but it's to be expected. But we have some things to decide on. The first are the red shirts. Cody, we'll get to it. We are going to sit out Brett Samuel for this season. But if he walks away, I'm not really that afraid of it because he wasn't this crazy good option. But we had another quarterback in Frost who's not that far behind, has a good dev pattern. And he's a field general, so he might not fit our schemes perfectly like Samuel will, but I'm willing to give him a try. He's not the slowest in the world after all. So, Brett, we're going to hit you with that red shirt, buddy, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to give Bryce Frost the chance. At running back. This could be tough. We have two running backs with impact dev, and then the two at the bottom of Mercer and Shaughnessy. And then Tyson has a better dev, but obviously he's a senior. What is the best way to go about this? How risky do we want to be with redshirting new recruits? That is the other thing that we need to consider. Play main to play impact devs to progress them more. For the most part, if it makes sense. But also, we need to be cognizant of trying to get promoted because I don't want to be stuck down in this bottom tier forever and ever. We redshirt Tyson. He might get pissed, but he'd have 1 year of being dominant, while Strickland could start this year with Hardy and Grant. Could redshirt Mercer and Shaughnessy, give them an extra year of eligibility with a better dev pattern. Thought that guy's name was Keynote. Keynote Tyson. J Squared, thank you for that as well. I'll actually do it right now before I forget. Thank you, thank you. Honestly, I think we get aggressive with the red shirts. Why not? No one's bigger than the program. Stephen B will play. We need JV and Foreman to play, though. We need that type of wideout. Page would be the fifth man. Then again, the awareness. Maybe he'd actually be higher up because some of these guys have horrific awareness. Yeah, Foreman has to play. I mean, we need a player like that in this lineup. We'll keep Page in there. Let's redshirt the two freshmen. Tight ends. You need at least 4 to play. So it makes sense. It makes sense to redshirt the freshman Stephen Melvin, get him an extra year of eligibility. And it would make sense to redshirt the lesser sophomore in Bentley. Never mind. Oh, yeah. I can math. Defensively, Thomas Shelley, you're sitting. Stenberg. Honestly, even Tariq Williams, I mean, he's not that much better than Huff, and if Williams doesn't leave, he'd be an 80-plus for 2 years instead of just one once next year rolls over. Can I redshirt both freshmen there? Yes, I can. Right guard, redshirt all these freshmen. And the right tackle. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 74, 77. We can afford to redshirt one more guy. Let's redshirt Kramer. Get him a really good year. Let Perkins do his deal. Defensively, Metzger does have star dev. So we might not want to sit Bruce Metzger. Losing him would suck. Like I said, if we go with quarterback, Samuel doesn't really have any better dev. Like, he's fine. He's a fine quarterback, but he's not going to really be able to be anything special. Interesting. Hello? There we go. That was weird. We scratch Mercer and Shaughnessy. They're both impact dev. It's worth the risk. His impact dev isn't too crazy. Wideout-wise, there wasn't anybody to worry about that had a crazy dev. Melvin had base dev, so that's fine. There wasn't any offensive lineman that had any special abilities or anything. Any special dev pattern. So yeah, Metzger is the first one I'm kind of worried about. Up to head impact dev, but not anything higher than that. Oh, actually. Where did Perkins go? He was the center. Okay. Yeah. Star dev, but he's a senior, so that's not a big deal. Redshirt those three, and then that's 1, 2, 3. I don't want to risk losing Metzger. So we're going to sit out McCrary so that Metzger can be the starter in that spot with Varner, and then Couch Smith as a depth option, Decker as a depth option. Rudolph is just a really good player, but he doesn't have a special dev or anything like that. It would benefit us more in the long term if he sits out a year. Gets that extra dev time. If he gets mad and leaves, is what it is. Linebackers. We really don't have anybody we can afford to sit out here, do we? There's nobody on the right. Taj Coles has to play. I guess I can technically sit out Garland and Stonehouse. We have plenty of defensive ends that can also play linebacker. Get a linebacker. Dobbs and Lauletta. Going aggressive with the red shirts. Corners. We need pace. We need Collins. We got the top two. Micah Brietta was star dev. Which means technically we can redshirt these options. Brietta was going to be running back. We elected to put him at corner so we can afford to scratch one corner. And we'll let it be Terrell Pace so that he can at least be as good as Collins will be, or is now. He'll be as good as that next year. So Brietta's probably going to be our second choice corner, which is a bit risky, but I think he'll benefit well from it. Safeties. Theus will sit out. And we can afford to sit out Dakota Mills, too. Kickers, got to sit out Keenan. Punters, got to sit out Stoner. So very, very aggressive with the red shirts, trying to make sure that we're not only good for this year, but good for subsequent seasons as well. So with the depth chart, it's going to be Frost as my choice at quarterback, who has that star dev. Running back. Nobody to change there. Just Strickland's the guy. Yeah, Hardy's fine as second choice. Fullback's good. That works. Are you renaming in this run? Yes, we're going to get to that shortly. For wideout, we didn't really have anybody to focus on. We wanted Page ahead of Bell because of the awareness. And honestly, Javon Moore is good, but his awareness is so goddamn low. I don't trust him. Tight end, McLawler, Peaks, Bentley. Melvin was redshirt, so that's good there. O-line is Franklin, Huff, Perkins, Spanway, and Greenwood. That's fine. Defense, right side is Varner. Left side is going to be Metzger. That's not bad. DT's Green, Chicatano. We didn't have a DT to worry about, did we? We had Green, and he's already the starter. Linebacker, Van Claiborne. Depth options are maybe a little bit concerning. It has Underwood as a middle linebacker, which is fine. Cole's on the right. Corners, we want Brietta as the second choice, then Holland, Roderick, and Reese. Safeties. Hardy. So we're going to want that, and we'll actually make Stolball the starter over Cardi. This crazy-ass speed. Don't have the most speed at free safety, but that's okay. Kicker and punter are set. Kick return. Can we get somebody faster than that? Fortunately, I can't sort on the depth chart, so we'll have to go to roster. Who the hell should our return man be? Holland? 90, 90, 80. 90, 90, 80. It's either Holland or Hardy. And honestly, they kind of even out pretty well. Holland has better carrying. DeMarvin, congratulations, buddy. You're going to be our return man for season 2. Good old DeMarvin. Let's see. Marvin Holland in there as the primary return man. There you go, DeMarvin. And then all the specialty setups are fine. Okay, there we go. So, still going to be a growing year for us this year, but that's not too bad. In terms of schemes in the playbook, I still think that'll work. I still don't think it's that bad. All right, so obviously we still have to do the custom schedule. We still have to set up our board for this year as well. We're going to do the board first, and then we'll get into renaming people and deciding that custom schedule. So let's see who we need this year. What do we need this year? And the answer is a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 tight ends, 2 offensive linemen, 2 defensive linemen, 5 linebackers, a defensive back, and a nothing for special teams. So that will help us kind of make our choice here with the upgrade points. On the recruitment tree, let's focus on defensive backs. Honestly, we could max that out to increase starting interest from DBs, but I don't know if that would take effect until next year. So let's do the first ones there. Then we need 2 defensive linemen. And we got a shitload of points for that last offseason. Oh, shit, we did the linebackers. Actually, well, we need 5 linebackers. That's what I needed to do anyway. I did defensive backs when I wasn't supposed to, but that's okay. D-line. We'll boost that. Boost up running back, wide out. We'll spread the wealth here. I mean, we're gonna be pretty much fine, aren't we? Not bad at all. That recruitment tree has loaded up quickly, which is amazing. Those 2 coordinators we brought in just helped us so much. 0 points now. Thank you, game, for letting me know. So, prospect list this year. Let's see what we have. Quarterbacks. 5 stars. Nope. Actually, here, we should just be able to look at any for 5 stars. There won't be that many. Will Ball State still be running alongside this? This is probably going to be the focus, although, again, I am not saying that we are going to abandon Ball State because we did get a really good start to that. But I was just in a really tough spot where everyone was so hyped about TeamBuilder, and then I made the team, and it looked awesome. So I'm like, well, what are we going to do here? You know? In terms of 5 stars, there is a guy out of East Hartford, Jamie Witt. We do have a couple of 5 stars that, you know what? We're just going to add these guys to the board. Send them an offer. See if we make any progress, and if we don't, then we don't. Right? In terms of 4 stars, there's going to be probably way too many 4 stars to properly look at. Yeah, there's a lot of 4 stars. So we'll sort by positions in need. We do need a QB. So let's literally just add all of these guys right out of the gates. We needed 2 running backs. Add all these guys by default. 2 tight ends. Only 1. We need 2 members of the offensive line. Alternating is always an option. That's true, but I feel like that could also get confusing for some. And for me. Nerd, maybe, yeah, but also I'm sure people would understand. Thank you, Monkey. Take that as a compliment. So we'll leave the offensive side there for the moment. And we are literally just going to offer every single one of these players a scholarship. And see if we can make up any ground. Why not sort by pipeline as well? Because we're aiming very high right out of the gates. I mean, yes, there were certain players where maybe the pipeline would help. But for the first time, after the recruitment class we just had, I'm willing to say let's just be crazy aggressive for players we probably shouldn't be able to get, right? These are players I would typically never go after for the same reasons I've said a million times now. You know, you have other programs that can just come in and knock us on our ass. And all of our hard work can go to waste. However, I'm just intrigued, right? We're going to experiment a little bit. You know, we got to get that experience for ourselves of seeing what works and what doesn't. So, this goes against my typical way of recruitment. But like I said, I just want to try something different. I want to see what we can get away with. That's all. Not saying it's the smartest move. I'm not saying it's the most logical, because it's not. But we're just messing around. I can afford to mess around at the start of this and see what happens from there, you know? Plus, this won't be the only week that we can possibly get anybody. So, as I said, I want to see what kind of ridiculousness we can get away with. I guess that other 4-star that was there said no, changed his mind and locked us out. Is there anybody else that locked us out? No, it would just be these guys. Okay. Scholarship offers. I have room for one more target, but I'm actually going to wait the week, which is fine. Like I said, we're going to be aggressive here. We're going to be aggressive, see if we can make up any sort of ground for any of these players, which the answer is probably not. I'm well aware. But I want to see what we can get away with now that our recruitment tab's gotten a little bit better. But yeah, the odds of any of this working out, incredibly slim. It does go against everything I'd normally do. Trust me, I'm fighting common sense versus, hey, let's fuck around and have some fun. You know, I'm fighting it a little bit. But you never know. You never know. I'm willing to try it. So we still have the custom schedule to set up. We have the freshmen to rename, even if all of them aren't starting this year. We got a lot to do before we can start this season.